Hello, I'm Ken Kinsley, and this is Finding the Words, the only podcast devoted to text-based art and artists. Like most people nowadays, I usually find out about artists through Instagram, and one artist I've been following for a while is Iceland's Halldór Ragnarsson, with his monochromatic abstract compositions punctuated by bursts of yellow and mysterious repetitive Icelandic phrases. I'd thought about contacting him to be on the show for a while, but when I saw that he had just been here in LA and I just missed him, it felt like a sign that it was time. We sat down to talk about the use of repetition in his work and how that fits into his philosophy of language, the transformative nature of losing his home studio to a fire, why he was in LA recently, as well as why we might actually get to meet up after all. Oh, and by the way, he's going to mention his least favorite painter. I looked the guy up. Yeah, he's not wrong. Here's my chat with Halldór Ragnarsson. It's nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
And yeah, you said you were here in LA, what, 2 months ago? You were here for quite a while, weren't you?
Yeah, I was there for almost 2 months. My girlfriend is born and bred from LA. She lives in Los Angeles. So
okay.
And actually, the plan is just moving there. So yeah, probably hopefully before Christmas. But you know how the situation is with Trump and all this craziness.
Your immigration timing is.
Yeah, I'm probably a terrorist in your country.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, it's not the best timing, I guess so. But sometimes love wins everything.
Yes.
So yeah. But you're based in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, I'm out in the Valley, if you know the area at all. Yeah. So, whereabouts would you be?
We are thinking about. She lives in Pasadena. No, Altadena. Of course, there is no Altadena kind of right now.
Yeah, you're between your timing on immigration and Altadena. Yeah.
But like we're probably thinking about moving in the art district.
Yeah.
So I can have my studio and live at the same, just like a rent a loft or something like that.
Yes. That'd be great.
Yeah. And we are also, if not Los Angeles, we are also thinking about Detroit.
Really?
Yeah. Like I lived in Berlin like many years ago, it's probably 20 years ago. I'm that old. And I love these the chemistry and the energy that was in Berlin at that time. And I think Detroit is kind of like that. It's like it's building up a little bit these years. The skyscrapers are not like a ghost skyscrapers anymore, and I think lots of artists are moving there, and I like this. I like this environment where everything is just like you take part in the energy of building something new up again.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're kind of in the Reykjavik area.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. So that seems like it's got a really, like a lot of energy in that scene as well.
Yeah, well, it is like you kind of know everyone here in Iceland, and it can be good and it can be bad, right?
I was gonna say, sounds like a blessing and a curse at the same time there.
Absolutely, and because when you are, you're working and you meet your colleagues, but then you meet them, for a beer, and you don't want to talk about art, So it's like I live downtown here in Reykjavik, and it is, everybody knows each other here, and so I try to all my best friends are not, artists, because I would just get mad, and thinking about art, all like 24/7,
Yeah.
But it's bustling, and lots of great art that comes from here, in my opinion. Whether it's music or just fine arts or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Now, speaking of not art all the time,
Yeah.
you did your, university undergrad work in philosophy and not
Yeah.
art.
Hmm.
What kind of philosophy were you drawn to? Like, were you?
Mostly what picked my interest was this just philosophy of language, and that is maybe the part why I'm using language in my art. That's maybe the beginning of it, at least.
Hmm.
Uh, Guys like Bertrand Russell or Wittgenstein, uh,
Hmm.
and just this elements at that time. It's like 20 years ago when I was studying it. And in a way, I went into art through philosophy. So I'm like a
Hmm.
late bloomer. I was never in a high school doing art or anything. So through through philosophy, I start to kind of it manned me up a little bit, you know. And I start to think about the meaning of language and the meaning of words. And in that context, I started to maybe, I went into an art school. And through that, I was doing poetry a lot at that time. And I've
Hmm.
been doing poetry like since teens. Uh, and then in art school, then I was never combining this visual element and this my core of thinking, which was language in general, right? My professor at that time just why are you not combining this? And I was just like, it's the most easiest, when you think about it, it's like always the solution is the easiest, the answer is,
Hmm.
right? And I start to combine this, and I start to think more about from the meaning of language into maybe my personal thinking, right? My personal, uh, yeah, I'm a white guy in Reykjavik, right? It is all the language in my art last at least 15 years. It's kind of based from a diary, and it's
Hmm.
kind of a collage from that. So it's kind of abstracty for people, but it is relevant in the sense of it because it is real, right? And it's not supposed to be like a punchline or anything like that.
Hmm.
That's the beginning, at least. Where I can go very
Hmm.
academically into this, but I think that is boring because we're talking about art, right? You know, right? So
Yeah.
it is this. Yeah, it is like at least the beginning. It comes very academically of why I'm doing
Hmm.
art, and then
Hmm.
20 years later, I'm still not sure what I'm doing, and I love it.
It's probably that searching that makes it interesting.
Absolutely. I think all good artists that I've followed over the years, I think they, even though they look very sophisticated in interviews, they are in their heart they're just like a little boys or little girls, just try to
Hmm.
find something out, right? That's my opinion about it, at least.
Oh, sure.
Hmm.
Now, your transition into painting and art was almost derailed by a fire that destroyed your home studio in 2016. How has that affected your practice moving forward, or your painting style, or just your general attitude?
Uh, I think it was the best thing that happened and the worst thing that happened.
Hmm. Well, mhm,
At that time, yeah, 2016. This is yeah, it's 9 years ago. Like time flies. But
mhm,
at that time,
yeah,
I had an exhibition that was opening like a month after, before it was a
mhm,
fire, and then 1 month later, I had quite big a solo exhibition, and of course that just burnt down.
mhm,
So for me, that was like a horror because I was thinking I can never I lived at the studio as well, so I lost everything, just absolutely everything. I didn't even have a
mhm.
boxers. My mother had to
Oh,
give me
wow.
money for because my wallet was also burnt down.
Mm,
So I didn't even have money for underwear. So I just started in a new life. So it's before pre and a posteriori, it's before and after my life kind of. but how it affected me, like it was a bummer, like losing all this work that I was supposed to exhibit. But at the same time, I was just like, hey, I can do it again. So I remade that exhibition. I don't know the English word. So like just by thought, and it took me like a one year to do before, and I did it again in a half a year, and completely lost my mind, and like absolutely.
Yeah.
But what I learned from it's like you can just like art, like it made me much more secure, like about mistakes and stuff like that. Because when you lost like at least 20 paintings, like that was finished,
Mm-hmm.
and it's completely gone, and then you're remaking it, and then you start to think, yeah, like if I'm thinking about a mistake right now, that's just
Mm-hmm.
so subtle. It's just like you shouldn't even be thinking about something as like important as unimportant like that. Mistakes
Mm-hmm.
are just great, and through making all this, then yeah, it was just how can I say it? Just like it made me be more secured about mistakes. Like mistakes, all my art kind
Mm-hmm.
of is based on mistakes. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean it. Like and
So
yeah.
you're just letting it rip then. I
Yeah,
mean,
kind of like sometimes when I
yeah.
like when something is maybe too safe or something, I don't know, maybe how to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I go home after maybe after the studio, and come the day after, I just kind of just like I take a pencil, like a brush, and I just like just put it somewhere over it, just so I can fix it. And from that mistake, like a mistake, then something interesting happens. Happen at least for me, you know. Like and I hope you understand. Of course,
Oh,
English is not
yeah.
my first language.
Oh
Yeah.
no, you're doing
All right.
great.
Thank you. I hope your listeners.
I also
Yeah.
saw I also saw that the fire was arson.
Yeah.
Did they ever catch the guy
Yeah.
or?
That guy was trying to kill his brother. Like I'm
Oh,
not joking.
damn.
So it was like a rundown kind of a industry house, and I lived there, and it's kind of like a loft kind of a situation there. And there were two
Mm-hmm.
like next to me. It was just like just addicts, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was just they. Sometimes when you saw them, you saw they hadn't slept for maybe 15, 20 days or something. But like yeah, so it
Oh,
was in
damn.
that kind of a environment where uh, probably the after party ended, and he was just like, I'm still awake, I'm gonna kill my brother, something like that. But yeah,
Wow.
so and yeah, it's just psychosis and stuff like that. And that guy was arrested,
Man.
but he wasn't legally. He was just legally insane, so he went to a psychiatric.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it was
He
yeah,
wasn't after you, so it's not a
yeah,
problem
yeah,
now for
yeah.
yeah. Wow.
But like
Yeah, getting yeah.
sometimes like I said, sometimes a bad thing can be a good thing. It's very like a
Yeah.
when you think about it in like a universal, like a in bigger spectrum than my spectrum, like this guy got help. You know.
Yeah. And who knows what might have happened, what else could have gone
Yeah.
worse
True.
staying in that
Yeah.
place.
My cat
Yeah.
didn't die, and yeah, so and I made this exhibition again, and the landlord probably made shitloads of money because of it. So everybody was winning in the end. Yeah.
All's well that ends
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And you're also part of two musical projects. The group Sea Bear, kind of a
Yeah.
indie. How would you describe it? I was going to say indie folk pop.
Yeah.
Would that be?
Yeah. I think.
I mean, I know categories are annoying, but
Yeah. I think it is like a. Yeah. Probably. I think it's a good analyze from you. Like yeah, it's indie, poppy, yeah, folky, kind of all. Yeah, I think you got it exactly right.
Sure. And you're the bassist in that
Yeah,
band. And also Spitali, am I saying it
Spitali.
right?
Yeah, Spitali.
Spitali, it's kind of a electronic instrumental duo with Sindri Mar Stigfason. I
Yeah, it
probably
was
messed that up
fantastic.
completely. And you've also done some club DJing as DJ Pilsner on the weekends. That sounds. Do you still do that
No,
or?
not, no,
Yeah. No.
not any, no, kind of not anymore. But I, yeah, I did it maybe for 10 years, just
Yeah.
for the fun of it,
Yeah.
and it was more just
Yeah.
like to have fun and just yeah, to make a party. I love that.
Oh, sure. Is there kind of a ebb and flow between the art and the music? Like, are you able to do both simultaneously, or is it like, okay, I got to do the music thing for a while, set that aside, and do the art thing
Yeah,
for a
like
while?
Seeper isn't like a active like it was, when we were like 2007 to 2010, we were touring just
Mm,
touring the world,
mm,
and
mm-hmm,
then we just went for a hiatus until 2000 for 12 years. So
mm-hmm,
yeah, I didn't. They all are just making music with different like projects. But I just
mm-hmm.
focused more on my art at that time, and kind of have just been doing that. The more it's like a Spitali, it's like a techno kind of a thing with the
Sure.
singer in Seeper, and it was maybe just me forcing him to do something with me because I was like bored. He kind of doesn't even like techno, so yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that's fun.
yeah.
I love that. Do you feel like the music and the art kind of play off of each other,
Well,
or are they very separate from each other?
music, like all music that I've done is always in collaboration with someone else, right? And I can kind of hide there a little bit.
Mm,
Uh, but the other is just like I can stand firm, and I'm just like yeah, it's I can like music, and I think it doesn't interrelate, right? I think it is just like it is
mm-hmm,
music, and I like that, and then I'm doing my art on my own, right? And I don't
mm-hmm,
see I don't see the connection, at least in for me, the music that I've done, and the art, like the fine
mm-hmm.
art, uh, like many like Vincent Gallo, for example, you can see very like yeah, he is doing music and he's also doing painting, and it very is in connection with each other, right? Can mention like loads of
Mm-hmm.
different, like I don't have it in my mind right now, but I can say one thing: Adrian
Yeah.
Brody he's a great actor, but like he's a shit of a painter. He is. There's no connection there as well, right?
Did you say
Yeah,
Adrian Brody?
yeah.
Was that the name?
He's
Okay.
a great actor, but it doesn't mean he's a great fucking
Yeah.
painter. He's a horrible painter. It's a horrible painting. I mean it.
I don't think I've
Yeah,
ever seen his
check.
paintings. I gotta take your word. I gotta
Yeah,
look that
check
up
it out.
later.
Yeah, you will be flabbergasted.
Oh boy.
But yeah, but just to answer the question, I think, yeah, I don't see the connection. It's not like a, it's
Yeah.
not smoothing into the other and stuff like that. It's like a, you're right. If I,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now, in terms of your artwork, yeah, I see in a very small way, it's a little bit reminiscent of like Cy
Hmm.
Twombly,
Absolutely.
kind of how his early works had a lot of looping shapes that kind of allude to
Yeah.
cursive
Yeah.
writing, but aren't actually words most of the
Hmm.
time. But now, I got to admit, as a non-Icelandic
Yeah.
speaker, and your work is in Iceland, I can tell a lot of times, hey, that looks like I don't know what it says, but I can tell there's a word there. Um, it doesn't lose
Hmm.
anything in
Hmm.
terms of art, but how different do these translate if you speak Iceland, like how much of it is legible?
I think like I
I
think
know it's a dumb
no
American
no no no
question. I
no no
realize
it's fine.
that, but
I think like it's very what you're seeing is of course just like a via the internet and stuff. But like if you see it up close, you can see
yeah.
obviously it is like it's
Hmm.
just like I call it kind of a drawing. These these
Hmm.
languages
Hmm.
or these inputs that I put there. Uh, but it's just like I think I'm just lucky to have find like a type of like a typograph like a I write like a doctor kind of. So it's kind of all this like the
Hmm.
Italian connection between letters and stuff like that. But at the same time, it is like a visual presentation, right? And it doesn't have to be like a yes, I understand. It's also just like what you see
Hmm.
and what you take from it. Like let's say just like a Rothko
Hmm.
painting or Agnes Martin painting or whatever. Like it doesn't
Sure.
really matter uh, what they are called, kind of. What is name in it.
Mm.
Uh, but of course, like they are not using language. But at the same time, uh, why are they then giving the artwork's title? So I'm having it, at the same time. It's kind of just like a visual presentation, of
Hmm.
a language that has a meaning. That something, right? Uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain it in English. What I'm trying to say, like it is just like a yeah. To answer it, I think it is very clear. It is not just a scribble, like and it's
Hmm. Oh
based.
yeah.
It's most of it is like always just one sentence, and I use repetition, like so I write it over and over again. Sometimes the longest
Right.
work that I've done is like a 6 months, where it's just like a very small written language. Yeah, and it says
Hmm.
uh, when I think it was like if I translate it into English, I think it is like I think there is a time for a pause now. Again, 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 and like 4 or 5 hours every day for 6 months. And I had to
Oh
use
wow.
like a band-aid because my hands are bleeding because of it's always like the same movement, right? And it's so subtle, but
Hmm.
it's like when you're doing when you see rocks like a beach sand, it's just the time that has molded it. So my fingers were kind of like that, just by you know.
Yeah.
And I can
Wow.
send you a video of this, like it's because it's kind of a happening at the same time. It's about
That'd be great.
time, and
Yeah.
I'll send you a video of it, like after this.
Sure. I mean, and this is going back to that, blessing and a
Mm-hmm.
curse thing. The blessing of like Instagram and the internet is that I can find something like your artwork that I would have known about. But the curse is like it wasn't until like I think yesterday some of it I thought, oh, he's got the ones with the kind
Yeah,
of bigger writing. I could tell it
yeah.
was text, and I thought, oh, but he's got these other ones that just have lines. That's
Mm,
interesting. And then wait a minute, and then I
yeah,
zoomed in and realized like yesterday, oh, those
yeah,
lines are words like that. So some of it is very, very legible. Some of it is a bit more
yeah.
gestural. How do you land on which phrases to use? I know you pull stuff from your
Mm,
diary, but what makes for an appropriate phrase for your
I think
paintings?
it is kind of like I want to, like I said earlier, I never want to have it like as a punchline. Like I'm nothing against when
Yeah.
artists are using like a kind of like a. Uh, I, d- I don't have I don't have an example right now, but like you know where I'm going, like where it is just like just maybe one word. I'm not talking about like a Lawrence Wiener or something like that. I'm talking about like a maybe like a more contemporary artist that is maybe it is kind of
Mm.
like a punchline. It's supposed to be kind of funny, but kind of not funny.
Like a David Shrigley or
Yeah, yeah.
somebody like
I
that.
like love all these guys, but like I'm saying,
Sure.
like I don't want
Sure.
my art to be like that. I want to have it like a
Mhm.
where you
Mhm.
maybe it's kind of maybe thought more about like a poetry. It's like a this
Yeah.
sentences that I choose like a has to present something that has happened to me or what I'm thinking, and it's not educational. It's not like I'm gonna tell you something, and now you. It's not like like a yoga, doing a yoga or something, and telling everybody else to do it, do a
Yeah.
yoga. It's more like it's sometimes it's very dark stuff.
Do you, I mean, you kind of, brought up poetry a little bit there. Do you consider them a form of poetry?
Yeah, like a very short poems. In that sense, like we call it in Icelandic kvarkur. It's just like a one sentence poems. But in the sense, it's like endless because with the repetition, uh, and also like why I'm using a repetition, and why yeah, it is like let's say if I just say to my girlfriend, "I love you" for the first time, that's so like that's so dear. Everybody has been in this situation, like just like wow,
Sure.
like I'm in love, and she feels that she feels it. But then you say it every day, and like maybe sometimes 5 days a day, times a day, and it kind of loses its meaning. Like it kind of just gets so in common. Like it's just like the ocean coming in and out. It's just like a normal gesture, kind of, right? So I'm kind of using that as well, like while I'm doing it, maybe something for like many days, again and again, writing the same sentence, it it kind of let me think about that sentence completely different the day after. Maybe I'm having a great day, and then I'm just like, yeah, it's kind of stupid, but I'm gonna continue continue what I'm doing, and so it varies
Yeah.
the meaning of it.
So, one thing about the paintings, I was looking over a selection of them, and I was really struck by how much the compositions and the overall presentation have changed over
Hmm.
time, but you have a real consistency in the color palette. A lot of, like very somber neutrals and either a little or a
A
lot
lot
of
of yellow.
yellow. Yellow seems to have a does yellow carry a special significance for you?
I've gotten this question before, and I think this is probably the only thing that I can connect with. That my art is in some connection with Iceland, right? Uh, like we kind of have no light. We the winters
Mhm.
here, like you kind of don't see the sun. So
Mhm.
probably in a Freudian kind of a way, it is just like a deep inside my, just like a searching for a light, or searching for something that reminds me of like of a summer or something. Because I've been using yellow, and I'm like, I'm talking about like using it. It's in everything that I do. And uh, after when I got that question a few years back, I couldn't answer it. But after when I left the interview, then I was just like, yeah, uh, I have to figure that out, and that's the only explanation. You're at your studio every day from like Monday to Friday. That's just my, that's what I do.
Sure.
And you're
Mhm.
alone, kind of. You okay? I have like windows there, but like you are just stuck, not stuck, but like you are there. Everything is everything is outside, of course, like every other people that work at the office or whatever, they experience the same thing. But like
Mhm.
uh, like I'm doing like a painting, what it is probably just to cheer me up a little bit there. That's probably
Sure.
the answer, like why so much yellow.
Yeah. So sort of a subliminal longing for sunlight,
Yeah,
maybe? I don't know.
probably. You should come
Yeah.
here like during January. You will understand. You will understand. You will eat just like banana. You'll go to Subway because it's as yellow, like everything yellow. You just see it yellow in January. Yeah.
Interesting. So it sounds like you're not alone on that.
Guess not. But at the same time, like when I was in Los Angeles for these 2 months, like I saw yellow in everything there. I'm not just talking about the sun, but I'm just talking about like a white
Mhm.
white wall, how the sun just cast it, and I just saw the same white wall, like the LA lights. I know, like David Hockney and everyone has talked about, like, the LA
Mm-hmm.
lights. I was just like, yeah, okay, I understand, but and and like as soon as I came there, the first day I was just like, wow, okay, it makes sense. It makes sense. All these artists over the years are talking about, like, the lighting there. David Lynch
Mm-hmm.
talked about it, like all these guys, just like
Yeah.
so.
There's a reason that
Yeah,
Hollywood started
yeah,
here.
definitely,
So
definitely, and also just like it will be very interesting. Like, when I move there, it's like a highly likely, if the yellow will
hmm.
just fade away from my art. Who knows?
Hmm.
Maybe I'll
Hmm.
seek the darkness then, and I'll just do like a mono, like blackness. I don't know.
You also produced a book back in 2018 called Search for Witness. It was your photography from and accompanying writings from a trip you took to the
Hmm.
Caribbean, and photos you took on your hikes of the land and the people and everything. And you're saying about it on your website that, all things considered, maybe this is just a book about taking a step back, lingering, watching and listening at the same time, taking a good look further inside, finding a space and existing. And you really seem to use your art and the experience of creating it as almost a meditation. Would that be a fair
Yeah,
assessment?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's a very, like uh,
Yeah.
especially if you go back into me doing this repetition of language. It is like
Mhm.
it is this moment where you are just like you're just safe. You have this idea, and you're just doing it, and I'm just doing it like a factory worker in that sense, but
Mhm.
I'm completely at the present. I'm not thinking about, the past. I'm not
Mhm.
thinking about why did I think about this, because I've already gone through that, and I'm not thinking about the future, that is maybe anxiety. So
Mhm.
past can be like bring up sadness or
Mhm.
sorrow, and the future can bring up, well, anxiety, for example, right?
Sure.
So doing this repetition and doing the same sentence over and over again, it's, you definitely like go into that kind of a state. I never get bored doing it. I'm never like it's like yeah, it's for probably most people it would be so boring to write the same thing over and over again for like in various texts for like 15 years. But for me, it at least works quite well, and I don't have to meet my psychiatric that much, you know.
Yeah.
But some a little bit, yeah.
And you're getting ready for a new show, am I right?
No, like I'm taking partaking in a group exhibition next month. But I've been my mindset has been very much on this, like move. Like, my girlfriend is coming next month. We'll be here for 3 months, and then we are probably just gonna
Hmm.
move. So I'm kind of in
Hmm.
between, like where we're gonna live.
Yeah.
Are we gonna live there, Detroit? Are we gonna live here? It was just a suggestion like 2 days ago. Like, she said, yeah, let's go to Detroit. And she's an actress, so she can just kind of be everywhere, kind of like me. I can do my art anywhere, everywhere.
Mhm.
So yeah, uh, yeah. Only this group exhibition happening, and then just busy just with my art, and for clients and stuff like that.
And I know the repetition is obviously super important in your work, and one thing you've said about repeating words that it kinda seems to me like some of the things you said about the repetition almost contradict each other a little
Hmm.
bit in a way. Because, like, on one hand, you've said that repeating creates a shared meaning, and because of the repetition, you'll eventually
Hmm.
understand. But your artist statement says how you like to examine how through repetition words can
Yeah,
potentially lose their meaning
yeah.
and value. Can these 2
Absolutely,
things be true at the
absolutely,
same
absolutely.
time?
Like
Yeah.
let's say, like a loose meaning or add the meaning. Like you can be like like I'm just for this example that I did earlier, like I love you until you can
Mm-hmm.
say like I love you, and you're not in love anymore, but you still, just by this repetition of always doing it, and you maybe just like hey, I don't love her, but how can I get out of it? Let's say that. But you still are saying, I love you. So that's completely lost that meaning, right? But it can
Mm-hmm.
also add the meaning. Like you maybe don't love her in the beginning, and then you're super in love like
Mm-hmm.
10 years later. So so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a contradiction, but like I like that with the meaning of words and meaning of sentence and a meaning of let's say just
Mm-hmm.
go to my diary 20 years back and just you understand that it's the same, but like same vessel that did it, that wrote it, but it has completely lost meaning. What you were thinking about that, you can't relate. You understand what you were thinking, you understand how you felt, but you can't relate. It's like a completely lost in translation, kind of lost in a meaning. So that's the part that I think very what I use a lot in my art, and I think interests me a lot. Just the meaning of words and the meaning of saying and meaning of feelings and stuff like that.
Mhm. When you're in the middle of creating a piece, do the words kind of cease to become words? Is it more just a visual element, or do you become numb to the meanings after a
Yeah,
while?
it can be like a it can be, and also
Yeah.
like a when I'm in the beginning, or let's say mid painting, then I start to paint. Like then I start to look at it
Mm-hmm.
more like as a visual presentation, like
Mm-hmm.
the language starts to be as like just like the color blue or something. It starts to be yeah,
Mm-hmm. It's a little more. It's
yeah, yeah,
secondary at
yeah,
that point.
because the meaning
Yeah.
has already I've already put the meaning into the painting. So now I start to kind of, let's say, paint. You know, it's hard to describe exactly, but yeah,
Sure.
kind of. I start, and then in mid painting, then I really start to paint. If it makes sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's strange to say that out loud, but like, yeah.
So by doing all this repetition of this, not just the painting, but this whole general idea and this style, you were saying through repetition, you can, you will eventually understand. Is there something about art or even life in general that you've begun to understand more through this process?
Uh, Hopefully some, but hopefully, I hope I'm only at maybe 10% to understand. Like
Mhm.
I, I honestly just go to my studio every day. It's just like I go there from 10 to 6, and I go with my that mindset that I really don't understand what I was doing yesterday, and
Mhm.
and that is kind of my thinking, especially about art. I'm horrible in life, learning, learning how life works and stuff like that. But like in art, yeah, I think it is. I could. There's a lot that I've learned, but I'm eager to learn a lot more, like a lot more about just like
Mhm.
about just the feeling of just making art. Like in the end, it is you doing it, and why you're doing it. Like uh, I have no answer to it, and I don't need the answer because I'm doing it. Like that's enough for me, and it makes me happy. It makes me sometimes sad. Makes me, yeah, it just makes me very much alive, right? And that's the probably the only thing that I can say that I'm happy and lucky to have learned, kind of. But there's a lot more
Mhm.
to go to, you know, get get involved in, and And through art, it's a lot. Through art, yeah, loads of. I think I've learned more from art than in normal life. I can yeah, I'm pretty sure about that.
Well, thank you, Haldor. It's been wonderful talking to you. Good luck with the move.
Thank you, and we'll have a coffee when I'll be in.
Yes, we'll be
practically neighbors. Big Los Angeles.
Thanks to Haldor for sticking around through all the technical issues that popped up before and during the interview. And thanks to you for listening. Please like and subscribe, and maybe even throw in a review. It would be very much appreciated. Until next time, thank you and take care.